Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Game Bro Station and the Game BroCast, where we'll be reviewing Ducktales again. Say hi, Matt.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Jared. Oh, he's not here again. Son of a duck.
Still in that pantry of his.
Still locked in that pantry. Ah. Well, everybody, before we get started reviewing today's episode, episode 21, The Secrets of Castle McDuck,
Yes.
a little bit of housekeeping for any of those of you who are interested.
Oh.
Yeah, big news. We'll be reviewing Matt Groening's Disenchantment, was it?
Yeah, Disenchantment
On the channel. So if you're interested in that, or you know anyone who, is just a fan of Futurama and The Simpsons, like I know we are, and are excited about it,
Oh, definitely, dude.
come on down, the weekend of the 18th, and we'll have ourselves a fun time talking about it.
Yeah, keep your eye out for that BroCast review.
Coming soon. But now that we've had a preview of coming attractions, let's talk about current attractions.
What's up, dude?
Well, Scrooge, the triplets, and Webby go to Castle McDuck.
Whoa.
Which might be confusing, especially since Scrooge's parents are still alive, though thankfully we are told that in rebuilding his ancestral home and maybe using some discount druid runes in the process,
Yeah.
Scrooge's parents are now immortal.
Wow.
And this was... we find out that, of course, buried within the walls underneath the castle in the catacombs, there's the treasure of the Knights of the Templar, amongst other things, guarded by a hellhound. They call it a demon dog, but,
Right.
whatever. Kids
Can't
show.
say
We
hellhound.
can't say that. And while there, they find Dewey finds a clue that may lead them to the whereabouts of their mom, Della, and the other triplets join in pursuit, while Webby is just flabbergasted at the chance of learning anything she can about Scrooge McDuck, that she basically shuts down until it's too late.
Yeah, she was completely starstruck the entire time to even think or do anything.
She was. And really, this actually, for me personally, I think, Matt, you maybe agree with me, probably the most emotional episode I think we've seen.
There's definitely a lot more character arc and reaction going on here that I appreciate.
Like, some good moments that really just got me going, aww. I mean, not to sound cliche, but...
No.
Particularly with Scrooge and his father, who is voiced by guest star Graham McTavish, who you may know, of course, from the Hobbit trilogy, Outlander, and the AMC series Preacher.
Wow.
Certainly someone who's been around in the...
Because I was going to comment and say, like, his voice acting in this, or at least how he did some certain scenes, were really well done.
No, it was really well done. His voice acting was well done. The character was well animated. Actually, the animation overall in this episode seemed like the show has always been well animated, but there were some moments in this where you could just see the animators got out of their chair and like filmed themselves in reference.
You can tell, yeah.
To really make sure this motion and these emotional scenes really carried some personal weight to them, I believe.
Yeah, I definitely think the animation went above and beyond in this episode than what you normally see.
It really did. And we find out that Scrooge, of course, has the age-old thing of, my dad's always hard on me and nothing's ever good enough for him and such. But there's this really sweet moment, and this later ties into the comics. It wasn't in the original version of how Scrooge got his dime. That's how we knew it in the beginning, and then later on down the road we found that out, I believe. But really, Scrooge's father couldn't provide for his family, so he essentially set up Scrooge so he could earn his number one dime and get the confidence he needed to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, it taught him self-reliance and how to be independent.
Mm-hmm. And that, I don't know, that lesson and the fact that he cared so much about that, I was just like, this is, oh my God.
Yeah, that almost got me. I was
It
like,
really did. I was just like, ah.
It's like, that's a good moment.
It really was. And so the triplets are going down into the catacombs as they find behind Donald Duck's baby portrait is a note left by their mother with clues about the catacombs and possibly a way to maybe figure out for them how to get a hold of her. Dewey, of course, is petrified at the fact of his brothers finding out, because it's that whole kind of a bit of cliche where one person knows, but they don't want to let the other people know because they want to protect them. But at the same time, then you get the reveal. And then it's just like, why didn't you tell us? Of course we'd want to know. We're in this together. And, we get that.
Yeah.
But it a bit of a cliche, but it works well enough. And quite honestly, they're being chased by a giant hellhound.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It kind of...
They all kind of need to be in the know.
We all kind of need to be in the know. And really, it's good to have them in the know now, because it's just kind of like, it's always this thing that was in the back. And you're like, okay, you knew it was going to happen. So it was good to have it happen. And Matt, you kind of called something with who was going to be the more emotionally invested in this missing mother plot.
Yeah, no, I remember because for a while we have our shows where it's like the blue one. I know I always forget their name. Dewey. He's obviously the one looking for his ma. Huey, the red one. Mm-hmm. I only remember that because red's first. Uh-huh. He's like the know-it-all, and I kind of have trouble expecting exactly what he wants. Mm-hmm. Louis is kind of the greedy evil twin, self-proclaimed evil twin.
He even finds a gold key because he says gold weighs more than fool's gold, so you just got to look at the bottom. It's just like, what?
Yeah, and then he said himself, greed outweighs fear for him. Yeah. So anyway, so you expect him to be just kind of like a little dead inside, but for me, throughout the series, I kind of thought to myself, I wonder if... And it makes sense psychologically, deep down, he's actually probably the most hurt out of all three of them. Mm-hmm. So once all the characters reveal, it's like, you were looking for mom? Just the lines that Louis said, it's just, he didn't have to say much, but I can kind of feel where he's coming from.
Oh, yeah. Huey, of course, is angry, but there's this one shot and moment with Louis where it's just like, he is destroyed and like actually betrayed by the fact that, that Dewey kept this from them, that they kept any information about them being able to find their mother.
Yeah, he was just like, that's just not right.
No, and it was another great emotional moment out of this episode, really.
Yeah, no, you definitely felt the power there. Mm-hmm.
And of course, they wind up being split out as the Hellhound chases them throughout the catacombs, and ultimately we find out this at least in and of itself was more or less Della stole Donald's hat at one point. It was just like, come get it. I'm going to bury it in your crypt in the family tomb. Just like, whoa, that's messed up. They even say as much, quite honestly.
Did they ever say they were like fertility twins? Or not identical, but the other one?
Yeah, they are, I believe so. Okay. I think Donald is oldest.
Oh, okay. So it's big bro, little bro. Okay. Little sister.
Mm-hmm. And, well, they are actually saved because they get separated, but then they team up, and it's the whole, of course, we're family, blah, 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 and we're going to do this. They chase off the Hellhound thanks to the help of the ghosts of the clan McDuck, which was actually kind of a surprise because I was half expecting in some way, because they said, I believe, in the lore that the dog was placed there by a McDuck ancestor, and I was halfway going to be like, okay, so it turns out this dog maybe isn't chasing them because it's vicious so much as it's just like it's happy to actually have. I don't know. I was expecting some sort of twist on that.
Family of the Master returns.
Family of the Master. Well, kind of, because they had that whole thing in the beginning where they were so poor. Scrooge didn't have a dog growing up. They just got a wad of hair from the barber, and he walked it and everything. That actually was a great bit of back and forth with Scrooge for, how dare you speak ill of, what was this? It was like Fluffy or whatever. Or something. He was family.
Yeah, that got me laughing. The show rarely makes me laugh, but that definitely got me.
So I was expecting some sort of connection back to that, but it wasn't. Yeah. But it was fun. Like, all around, I think, good episode. Matt, any of your parting words?
Yeah, no, I think it was a solid episode. I feel like there could have been a couple of emotional anchors left over, like, because like you said before, Louis was probably like one of the most devastated to hear the secret. It would have been kind of nice to see a tell from him, or maybe a few others that maybe they don't entirely forgive Louis.
Yeah. And that could happen in
but
the
next episode. It all kind of ends in like a wrapped up bow setting. Maybe that's all it's needed. But you're right. They could readdress it in the next upcoming episodes.
Yeah, especially as like we're getting closer to the season finale. I could see that kind of coming into play. It's like, well, how can we trust you now?
Yeah.
At this point, if you will.
I definitely think there's going to be a dynamic between the three.
One side note, in an episode so centered around family, this one in particular felt really awkward that Donald wasn't there.
Well, his hat was.
His hat was, and they have Launchpad pretending to be him, and he essentially passes it off by just throwing a temper tantrum. They're just like, oh, yeah, that's Donald. But, like, also they said Donald is Scrooge's parents' great nephew, which doesn't make sense, because if Scrooge is his nephew, if Donald is Scrooge's nephew, then wouldn't Scrooge's parents be Donald's grandparents? I don't know.
It might be on his other family side. Like, you got the father, you got the mother. Maybe it's on the other side.
Right. I'm a little confused by that.
I am confused. Something tells me they don't really want you to invest too much.
Yeah, because like we said, they already established Scrooge is quite honestly ancient as heck, and then his parents are ancient as heck, so maybe we shouldn't be...
If anything, like, maybe the whole, like, just call me Uncle Scrooge. Maybe that's just, like, a title Like sometimes like you have friends of friends who have kids.
No, yeah.
And their kids call you, hey, it's Uncle Mark. It's like, you're not actually the uncle. It's just...
I know, but just like the way it's always been with Donald's genealogy, it's just like, now I'm just confused.
Who knows? It's probably not important.
Yeah, but fun either way. But and for an episode about the Duck family, it feels really awkward in this one that Donald wasn't around. That pantry just must be ironclad.
Well, it's the McDuck family, I guess. So that's what I'm saying to myself. It's McDuck, not Duck.
The curse of
Donald Duck. Donald Duck is related to Daffy Duck, 3 times removed.
Oh my God, we're crossing the streams.
They both have the same last name.
Coincidence? Lazy writing? You be the judge.
Although Daisy Duck also has the same last name as Donald.
No, we're not going to think about it. We're not going to think about it. All right, everybody, join us again next week where we will be reviewing episode 22, The Last Crash of the Sun Chaser.
Absolutely.
Well, and as we like to say around here, folks, to be continued.
That's right. Matt's human, Mark human, not related. Peace out.